Hello, hello, I am Kasasagi. Ooh, Sagi, and I am here with more Final Fantasy XIV. Look how cute I look. We are gonna grab Miss Q very, very quickly. Hello, hello, Miss Q. Hello, hello. Are you ready? Are you in the Rising Stones? Okay. So we have to cut stream a little early today. So we have to end at 7:30 our time, which is 8:30 EST. Because I have made obligations and whatnot. And you can come to farms too. But let's hop right to it because we don't have a lot of time. Today, this week, Alize is waiting patiently for the return of certain science, not least of all you. Good news, Akali. Thancred and Arianje have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I hope they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? A welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Graha, and Akali. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't been all tales of triumph. Just as we were taking steps towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help but noticing we're one Orianje short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try. Repeatedly, but no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to appraise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lise had said. Worse, in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Van Daniel? Perhaps. Or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians there day and night to rebuild or rather transform it. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Arianje, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of Aether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchange between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. Hello, Varkin. If Van Daniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. We'll be sure to save some for Arianje, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the tower, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay behind and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Cryle. We need not all attend. Very well. I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we have to speak with Arianje before the meeting. Telling me go. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As we are to see you safely return from your mission, Arianje, I trust Thancred made you feel welcome? Well, well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Arnveld, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd been away on another mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elezen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Oryx such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Aye, 'twas not till my 20th summer that I outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbreda towered over me nonetheless. Arnveld brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dorla, mostly. Need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. We've got a meeting to go to, and I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Fordolo is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arenvold rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. 'Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Daniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar, and that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
I accept that numbers can prove a hindrance when infiltrating enemy territory, but to only send 2. If it's small talk you're after, look elsewhere. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolver and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
I don't think she has a choice.
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I a part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Estinian's just trying to live his life
I'll
in
see
peace.
to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Man just wants to live his life in retirement. Elfino is keen to track down Estinian. So Iniston was bound for Ishgard, where whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep them there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. I've only visited Ishgard once before after the devastation of the 8th Umbral Calamity. To see this place in all its former glory, forgive me, in its original glory, is a tantalizing prospect indeed. Assuming we find him, this will be my first encounter with the famous Estinian. And if he's half the man Elfno claims, I fully expect to go weak at the knees. Perhaps do a bit of fainting while I'm at it. All present? Good. Now let's split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces and the squares, the markets and whatnot. You and Akali can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory. So perhaps you could try the congregation? Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Good morrow to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Armeric sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Elamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware Sir Iniston had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent? In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. The fastest way to the airship landing is to go to the astrologian place. Sir Innocent is every bit as elusive as Ariane suggested.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino. Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino!
He doesn't know.
If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
I know.
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again.
Yeah, she'll kill you.
What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation?
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again, and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
Tiamat summoned Bahamut once before. She may have again, willfully or no. Not to complain, but I didn't expect to find myself here quite so soon. So this is the Delta Quadrant, where countless dragons yet lie imprisoned, the great Tiamat among them. It has been quite some time since last I set foot in Azis La, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit. Alas not. We had no cause to set foot in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Akali is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one to have met Tiamat face to face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Alagon Empire. Ever since the end of the war with Marsidia, yes. To have been held captive for so long. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she had harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her, even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Isinian is ready to lead the way to Tiamat. Tiamat awaits this way. Think that man is responsible for all this, and so much else that dragonkind has suffered. Resigned to her fate, though she may be, I cannot help but feel we may be able to help Tiamat, would she only let us. So this is one of the 7 great worms. Even thus confined, her presence is overwhelming. My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
That my sin should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called them forth, I know none, save the dragons of Mercidia, our children. The Icon claimed their souls when he first manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Elegon's dark designs.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
Yes, the dragons of Mercidia are at the mercy of the Sassian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Asians, vile minions of darkness! Dragon speeches last forever. Again you would profane the memory of my beloved, and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you would not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have from me, slayer of dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mercidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire, but words shall have to suffice.
Ale
Recall, mortals, that it was I who first summoned my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot be well ignorant of this consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed. Ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends, to delay Bahamut's memory to rest. When our star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe to Hydaelyn, and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. While proxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Allagons kept detailed records on all the notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of these shackles. I know Alphino and Akali here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of an escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I to make me take the first step towards a brighter future. And now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes, we are familiar with it. The Aetherico-Chemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, and you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you? I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Ramburus, Urianger, and I are searching the use of spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should the opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. And armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Oh, speaking of dragons of Marsidia. I'd rather leave these elegant contraptions to you and Elfino. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective is at this stage is simply to identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Warning! Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in minus 2,020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to safe distance. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advice deployment of automatic combat units. Proceed? I'm afraid Estinian and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? chirping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node of which Raha spoke. And it was chirping, you say? Very well. Let us indeed take a closer look. Yes. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Why can't I say this word? Authentication. I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't use the words. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Akaliana. Welcome, Akaliana. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen, Tiamat, a system update is required. A system update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? To smash it to pieces. Now that I do understand. You can go first. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link into said system due to obsolescence of my own software. The issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has been received by the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float here spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating PlayStation protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. But what if I smash? I don't know what possessed the Allagons to surround themselves with these chattering orbs, but the fact that they remain where their creators do not speak, volumes. The restrainment node stands poised to lend a hand, figuratively speaking. Guiding user to terminal. This way, please. Oh, the statues. I thought these went away after you defeated them, but they are still here. Chat is cute. Oh, it's inside the little building. I'm sorry, I thought you were already there. Let's see. According to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.135. Dare I ask which version you are employing? Why, software version 42.002, of course. Warning, errors detected in the data management system. Estimated time required for update, 5 years, 1 day. Some things never change. That is rather longer than we were hoping. Aren't there any other options? For instance, using this terminal to operate Tiamat's restraints instead. The proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be accurate. Well, I can't imagine it will have changed all that much. As long as we pay due attention to any discrepancies, I dare say we shall be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain, just tell me if we've made any progress. I would say so, yes. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link pearl once I am ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may have yet use for it. Rest assured I will be certain to return it to Grahatia once this is over. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. But before we go any further, there's something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Elegant Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Ascians. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All that the Ascians touched turned to ash, and thus you have made it your mission to fight them. But there have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, to find common ground. And so I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? Ooh. I will try, yes. And if that fails, I'll remember him. I see little point in reasoning with the wretch, or remembering him, for that matter. But perhaps there's difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it be but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. You think us unwise for viewing the world thus? Far from it. That has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Iceheart. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view the compassion as weakness to be exploited, and there may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. So save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Alphino has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. With Endwalker so close, there's so many comments that make me very nervous. Like that whole exchange. Every time they mention how the twins still haven't grown up, and they're like, we will, just you wait and see. And I'm just like, ooh. Do you know what happens to the twins in Final Fantasy IV, Miss Q? They both turn to stone on the moon to save everyone else. We are, in fact, going to the moon! Now, in Final Fantasy IV, they do get better. Eventually. The twins getting fridged is on my bingo card. How do you... Oh, of them? Maybe. We did get their, Yeah, I figure it's a twins time skip mechanic. They will come back. And they will be older. Alphino and Alize. Estidian told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of stone with him. I take it from Alphino's absence that he's needed elsewhere. Well, that sounds rather frustrating, but you got there in the end. While you were off talking to nodes, Graha and I were learning as much as we could about about Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirm that her ethereal balance leans strongly towards the umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of aether with which we contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required if we are to reverse the effects of the temporary completely. Meaning I'll need all the aether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic, namely that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It's time to put our theories to the proof. Tell Elfino to disengage the restraints, ethereal dampers. I'm counting on you, Angelo. Such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. And what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, of war with the men of Alog. Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul is to its pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her to recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Akali, she trusts you. Speak to her and ask her to tell you of times past. Tell me of Bahamut and the Ascians. Bahamut, my beloved. Would that the peace we found in Mercedia could have lasted for eternity, but alas, it was not to be. The Ascians saw to that. In all creation I know of none more wicked. It was at their behest that the men of Alog first came unto Mysidia, unto our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took winging in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would come to be known as Mercedia by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees. Surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of the Sharlayan scholar Rurusha. She points that man first settled on the southern continent towards the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale from Tiamat herself. Again, Angelo. When first the children of a man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion, such was their fear of dragonkind. And as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing ever more of their brethren, who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem, and soon they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man. Blood was answered with blood, and none could see an end to this strife. Until one day, they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him presiding over the affairs of men, the land knew peace once more. Alas, those golden days of harmony too were fated to end. For the men of Alog slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Ascian. The rest thou knowest only too well. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. Fine sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Ugh, thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear when this is over. Keep going, Atlasay. The magic is working. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. No patient could have prepared me for treating a giant worm. But we're close. I can feel it. And while we've only got a few more drops of ether left to give, with yours and Graha's, this will work. Then I believe I speak for all of us when I say that you may take as much time as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here I go. He's on a rock.
No! I'm almost there! This is it, Angelo!
Es ließ an, mich es
Yes, I feel it. The icon's grip groweth weak.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Answer me this, children of man. Can my kindred be saved in like manner?
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
My children.
Slosk an ol folkel an. Slosk seth som in an.
Should you hearken unto my call, we shall fly together once more. But should you not, I shall grant you peace.
One Lis an. Do old an.
Better to die than live as a tool of evil. You too would wish this. I know, and I shall do as I must.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
Thou hast my gratitude, little one.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
Bahamut, my beloved. For vengeance and atonement I rise.
By the gods!
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan. He flies for the largest Amalta settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
I'll be fine. Plenty of time to recover on the airship. While I'm sure you're desperate to join Istinian and Tiamat in battle, 'twould be wiser to gather your strength, the full strength of the Silence first. The foe we face demands no less. Chicken. You actually want that? No, I can't remember what you want. Chicken is for DPS. With Lunar Bahamut bound for Pagalthan, Grahatia is determined to call upon the aid of your fellow Scions. I already sent word to the others. We are to rendezvous in Ul'dah at the Hall of Flames. Let us collect Alphino and be on our way. Oh shit. If you're worried about me, don't be. I got some rest during the flight, and now I feel ready for anything. From the spate of abductions, and now an attack on the Almalja homeland. What do the Telefori aim to achieve with all of this? As I am certain you recall, Arenvold and Fordola are bound for Pagalthan. I pray that they have not come to any harm. By happy coincidence, Carl and I are in the process of concluding our inquiries when news reached us of Lunar Bahamut's return. There is much to discuss, and it will have to wait. Of the foe we face, we know little. Though time be of the essence, we must not stint in our preparations, lest our haste to fly to the aid of the Almalja cost us our best chance of victory. Now I know some of you could do with a rest, but I'm sorry to say the Telefori have other plans. Pagalthon is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defensive effort, with Marshal Taropin at their head. Well now, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanate would respond. 'Tis good to hear that Ul'dah has not abandoned the Almalja. Abandoned them? Did we not profess to be their friends? Your Grace. Marshal Topan has made provisions for such an exigency, and was ready to depart at a moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement of the Syndicate, each of whom voted in favor of intervention. Nor is Ul'dah alone in its resolve. The other Alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Pagalthon. Yet even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested, for we face not only the might of the Imperial Legion, but Lunar Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured, but not all of the omens are grim. Our Ferrises report that despite the proximity of Lunar Bahamut, none of the Almalja show any signs of tempering. Strange, but Primal would turn down a chance to claim new thralls. Unless it is incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Ascian or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental matter from those we have previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Akali and others like her wouldn't have to shoulder the burden alone. Be that as it may, Lunar Bahamut remains an incalculably powerful foe whom our soldiers will struggle to best through the mere force of arms. With the aid of the Scions, however, I believe they will fare better, assuming that is, you are ready to take the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you are able. I, meanwhile, shall continue to coordinate our forces. Till next we meet, may the 12 bless you and keep you. It was kind of her to speak with us personally. You may be certain she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I, for one, am inclined to do as her Grace requests. Lest we forget, Arnvold and Fordola are in Pagalthon on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances. Indeed, to the airship then. Do we go to the airship? Is that what the game is asking of us? Oh, follow me. So you want to go to Pearl Lane, which is like straight down the middle. No, this isn't Pearl Lane. This is Ruby Road Exchange. My bad. Pearl Lane is the outskirts of the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. And then the lift attendant will take us to the airship landing. Try as I might, I cannot fathom why the Telefori would make a move to attack Neil Malja. If Fandaniel's objective is death and destruction, one of the city-states would have surely been a better target. Now, they have some other agenda, one encompassing the recent abductions, perhaps. Lest thou wonder, I have attended to Thancred's ammunition and completed mine own preparations. I trust thou canst say the same of thine. Do you think Istinine and Tiamat have already reached Pegalthon? But I should know better than to speculate on the whereabouts of the Asher Dragoon. Forgive me. It is not impossible that the Telefari redirected some of the troops stationed at the tower to the front line. If so, this may all turn out to have been Arenvald and Frodola's benefit. Given what we know, some, or perhaps even all of the Imperial soldiers may have been tempered. If we can subdue them, we should be able to do something about that, but they would still see us as enemies even then. That said, they wouldn't be deaf to reason, which is better than nothing. So the Telefori have constructed buildings capable of tempering and primals which are not. What secrets are they hiding? Let's go. You ready? I know Yak wanted to come, but Yak might not be here. We'll give Yak a second. Yak is AFKing in Gengos. Well, we don't have a lot of time to wait, so we'll simply move along. Lots of new people. King Stance on. Make sure you do your big AoEs so you get everybody. There's 4 of them, it looks like. There you go. There will be 5 enemies. Oh yeah, bring all the monsters here so that we can destroy the rock. And here comes the big boy. Oh, you've lost one of the soldiers. Gabi. Or no, these are the kobolds. They came to help. Go ahead and run it. They're both here. So, in this fight, you are going to get a giant purple circle around you. You're going to want to attach it to one of the towers, like all around the arena, that isn't like spewing lightning. You got it? Yeah. Oh, he's gonna stay there. Yeah, you're fine. You can try and like pull him back. Oh, there you go. That'll be nice for the distance. So you'll get away from that purple ball. Oh yeah, there you go. The Dragoon has 5 home points. Yeah, I could not save them. Here is 505, which is not better than Eden stuff, but better than pretty much everything else. And these are, I think you did get Eden boots, so you don't need those. But there's a ring there for you.
What took you so long?
That's a good question.
The Amalja are in trouble. Let's
I
split
know,
up.
she's here. It's my job. I think that was Lucia.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, I didn't even see. This blue's okay to stand in. You've missed a soul. You didn't have aggro on the one robot. I was slapping the red mage. Go get him. You gotta leave, or they'll target you. If they're already like changed, that's not gonna do anything. But like, it's kind of like knocking them out, I think, for some of them. But for some of them that have been changed and corrupted beyond salvation, they do have to die. Look at all this tank stuff that's dropped. Yep, so it's gonna be tons and tons of ads. So go for it. Just make sure you have everything. So we want to stay right where we are in the middle. To the side. Make sure you get shot straight back. So, it's okay. We attack this thing with all our might. Just so long as you stayed in the cone. Like the line. Can we go again? Good call. Good job. No, it's okay. I was gonna do it, but you were just moving before. It's good. All the way to the other side. Watch out for the missile. The missiles are gonna be coming from the other side now. If you want to scoot over just. That's the fight. Another necklace. I know not. Yeah, I know not a single thing that you need. Oh, cute. Like just before. And then grab one of the dragons. I also don't use the healing thing. Oh, yeah. Those are gonna make, I believe, bigger AoEs in the path. Oh, and then we come over here. It was the right choice. Even though it seems scary. Follow me. Well, you were a little bit behind. It's hard to follow me on, like, you need to get out of that. We're gonna be able to be right here. Right here, right here. Right here. I need you to stack with me. Yeah, we're not gonna live through it if you don't. There we go. Sorry to keep pulling you all over the arena. It's just that the red mage was really hurt, and if I didn't think she was gonna live through it. Oh yeah, the dragon's so big. Do you wanna follow me? So we're gonna start here. We're gonna go here. Yep. Right here. Good job. Middle's gonna gonna be safe. No, it's okay that you don't stack. Sometimes it's better for the tanks not to, so the boss doesn't cleave. That's not one of those situations, but I only needed you to stack the one time, so I was sure the red mage was going to beef it. Because they had just got up. There's still one more chance for you, Miss Q. We do have a near raid left. There's a near raid left to do. Have you gotten a single piece of gear from near? That's so depressing. The near gear is so good. But you did a good job in there. Children of man, the shade of my beloved is no more, and I shall forever be in your debt.
Antal an in Aisto. Antal afa snalask I ash an dran mira
By your deeds are we set free, and free we shall remain as long as I draw breath. Never again shall the dragons of Mercidia hearken to the lies of the Ascians. This I vow.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
We would be proud to call you our allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Get back!
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
To see the Amalja fighting alongside us brought to mind the Zune of the Crystarium. I pray that our friends can forge bonds as strong as those of our counterparts in the First. From what I could tell, there didn't seem to be very many Imperials in the vicinity of the tower. Hopefully Arnvald will have used the opportunity to get in and out undetected. Tiamat did all she promised and more this day, but I doubt she will be satisfied. Nay, she will fight on in defense of her children, wheresoever they may be. It will take more than a single victory to wash away all the bad blood between men and Amalja, but one has to start somewhere. Though the day is won, thanks in no small part to thy valor, the Telefori are far from defeated. Yet be that as it may, 'tis only right that we rejoice in Lunar Bahamut's banishment unto the Aether. While it would be too much to hope that we had seen the last of Van Daniel, we have dealt his schemes a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. And celebrate I will, when we have received word of Arnvel's safe return. Elfino is minded to share his account on the events that unfolded in Pagathan with the Sultana. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave scions! Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the Photos Rentry. Your Grace, whatever is the matter? As our troops withdrew from Palagathon, they came upon the 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend, I believe, had been wounded and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, Your Grace. Can you tell us aught of Arenvald's condition, Your Grace, the wounded scout? Naught save that it is grave. The shurikens tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be indicated with wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Akali, Estinian, would you mind going after Elfino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see to that the relevant people that took place. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Pagathon. Come on then. We actually want to go to the the hustings strip. I take it Elvino is fond of Arenvald. I know how he feels, but hand-wringing isn't going to help anyone. You had better have a word. Instead of standing there gawping, why don't you tell your friend to stop whining like an underfed dog? People are fighting for their lives in there. Please tell me something, anything. Another one come to see the lad in silver armor. Master Demilot is attending him as we speak. If you would be so kind as to wait. What did Master Demilot say? Tell me his exact words. Enough, Alfiner. This isn't helping. But... you're right. Forgive me. When we said our farewells to Arenvald, I was afraid that something like this might happen, but now that it has, all we can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll lot be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
I know. There's nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragrant Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
When will he be allowed to speak again?
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
You only need to tell me where they are, Your Grace.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglfan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
I'm gonna pop right to it because we're running out of time. Right then, unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Elfino. Arnvald is in good hands here. Of course, he would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement then, I shall let Kryl know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking him, and thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Kryl, in particular, has a few matters she is keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinian. Believe it or not. You will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding that Baldassian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Let's get this over with, shall we? So Emmerich was at that fight too, and Estinian avoided that man like the plague. I have no idea why Estinian like jumps out a window the moment Emmerich is around. He doesn't call, he doesn't write, and Estinian's like, or Emmerich's like, have you seen this man? I just let him know I said hi. Like,
welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within their archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldassian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing, a topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Do you remember when the last time she spoke to you directly was? I genuinely don't remember either. I know it was not in the Crystarium. That was not her speaking to us directly. So it would have to be at the end of the Dragon Song War. But I genuinely couldn't tell you when, because we lost our blessing for a while. And then it was only near the end of the Dragon Song War that we got it back. But if you asked me to pinpoint when exactly that was, I could not tell you. Or during what exactly. Near the end of the Dragon Song War.
When you regained her blessing, was it not?
Yeah.
But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
Not even once.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in her judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I'm able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reem. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again. Will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly. As you have shown me, some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Charlian, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Well, does this one meet with your approval?
It's all samurai swords.
Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use.
That's the Tsukiyomi axe. There's the Suzaku spear around here somewhere I saw.
Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting, though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
What could it be? It is not. Because I know. It missed all the... Well, we will literally see what it is tomorrow. It missed all the fighting. It's easy to forget what we've achieved, isn't it? I mean, we cured Tiamat. Tiamat, for heaven's sakes. You will tell me if I become insufferably smug, won't you? Because the way things are going, it feels like a definite possibility. Oops. None can deny that Heidelin's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intentions. Given everything we have learned from our encounters with the Ascians, we must keep our minds open to any and all possibilities. strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telefori have so far made only sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go into the trouble of putting it all up to these towers, if that was what they had in store for us. The sudden appearance of the towers would surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. I would like to think that they would be receptive to Kryl's request for cooperation in investigating the matter, but unfortunately their reputation would suggest otherwise. Though we know not the full extent of the Telerofi schemes, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. If you need of my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation for the next battle. But since you're here, I have a question. The Scions are in close contact with the East Alnard Trading Company of Kugane, yes? I was wondering if they could place some order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find any in these parts. Well, that's a reference to the story that we'll read on Thursday. If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a busy few moons. Not that they ever seem to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, than you lot, more accurately. But you won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. But for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in. And gladly, mind you, it's the least I can do to support the lions who risk life and limb, like poor Arenvald. I wish there was something we could do for him, but we'll just have to settle for saying the old prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It won't do to have him come back to a complete shambles, now would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be the first to know. What are you scheming, Tataru? I don't trust you. Alright. What? There's no such thing as good beans. She's the shadiest Lalafell in this game. Oh, how you will fall to her sudden but inevitable betrayal in Endwalker. Alright, but we ended perfectly. Tomorrow, I actually think we can finish up everything that we need to do. So that's the near raid. That is... I think unfortunately we won't be able to get to the end of the near story because I think it becomes weekly. But we'll see. Near, Diamond Weapon, and then the rest of patch 5.55. And then you will be all set for Endwalker. Are you excited? We have to make sure you put your code into Log Station, but I'll tell you how to do that later. Alright, thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a very, very lovely evening, and we will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST for the end of all of this. So we'll see you there. Goodbye!